Hey, welcome to our Wednesday night conference call. I'm in my home in Toledo, Ohio, and I want to say hi to everybody back at the Ardyss corporate office, Alejandro and Sandra and the whole gang. Too bad you can't be here. It's beautiful outside. We're getting a big snow. It's perfect. It looks just like Christmas is supposed to look for all of you that don't get to see snow. But anyway, I've got some things I want to share tonight and go over. So last week we talked about the 8 steps to success. If you remember, we went through the first 4. So let's review those first 4. The first one was self-belief. And we talked about how this is the most limiting factor in the success in your business. We talked about the belief in the company. We talked about the belief in the industry. And we talked about our self-belief. Remember, we talked about what's in your bag. What are your blessings? And we talked about how God commissions us for greatness and that we really have to be focused on that. We talked about our accomplishments, what successes we have, and we talked about our gifts. So that's really a big key for self-belief. What were those 3 words we talked? Remember those? Act as if. Act as if you're a platinum leader. Act as if you are the best presenter. Act as if you are the #1 salesperson in this organization. That's one of the keys. Number 2 was set demanding goals. Right? And one of the keys were how important it was for us to write down our goals, that we would have our GPS, our why, our motive, that our goals is a big part of our motivation. We broke that word out, motive and action. Our why being our motive and our action being the steps that we take. Our success vision, being able to put our dreams, our goals, our values, our action steps, right? Number 3 was always be positive. It's our attitude. It's a mindset. It's something we choose every day. It is so easy to let people rain on our parade. It's easy to let negative people, bring us down. Avoid negative people, places, and things, and you'll avoid that. So we always want to be positive. Remember what Zig Ziglar said. It's our attitude, not our aptitude, that determines our altitude. So we want to make sure that we focus on that. And then number 4, and we kind of rushed through this, so I just want to talk about it briefly, is establish good habits. Every deed we do today, everything that you do is going to become a habit. Whether it's a good habit or not has to do with what we're doing. So we really need to pay attention to that idea that, motivation gets us going, but it's our habits that keep you going. When I look at a habit, I like to break it down into kind of 3 key areas. Number 1 is my knowledge. Think about 3 balls. Number 1 is my knowledge. The second ball over here is my skill. Over here is my desire, and that overlapping piece is the habit we're talking about. So perfect practice makes perfect. So let's go to the final 4 points. Hopefully we have those first ones down pat. So here we go. Number 5. This is one of my favorites. Master the art of communication. Real communication begins with listening. To be a great communicator, you have to listen. You have to ask questions. The person who is asking the questions controls the conversation. So when we're selling, when we're presenting, are we asking questions? Because if we are, what are we doing? We're drawing information out. Statements push, questions pull. So by asking quality questions, what are we doing? We're finding out the pain points. We're finding out why people would want to buy our products, what they're looking for in their lives. Maybe they're going to tell us that they're behind on a payment, or they're worried about getting their kids through school, or maybe they're going to tell us that they're a little concerned that their 401k is now a 201k. So we need to be able to focus in and listen. What you're doing is louder than anything that you say. A lot of our communication is in what we're doing. Listen to these statistics. Communication is 55% body language. So what you see, how I stand, my expressions, what you see from the environment is part of that body language. 38% is my tone of voice. Whether I talk soft and slow or whether I get more aggressive, that's tone. And so how you utilize that tone is 38% of your communication. Only 7%, think about that, only 7% is in the words you choose. So your enthusiasm, your passion is a major part of your communication. So it's how you act. We talked about that act as if. It's the same thing when we're communicating. It's the same thing when we're presenting. It's the same thing in our showcase. It's the same thing on a 3-way edification call. It's the same thing in a hotel meeting or the very first time that you meet somebody. You hear me preach all the time about the 4 E's. And this is, you know, we talk about it from marketing, but the fact is it has to do with communication as well. So what's the first one? I have to engage somebody. I have to grab their attention. Nobody's going to even listen to me if I can't grab their attention first. So the first E of my 4 E's is engage. Number 2 is entertain. Now, entertain, people get a little freaked out about. I'm not telling you have to juggle balls or dance or, you know, do a little vaudeville act. What I mean by entertain is that we need to make an emotional tie with the person we're talking with. We need to understand the emotions that are grabbing them. Because that's going to be where they then give us permission. See, when I engage them and I can attach to them emotionally, what they do then is give me permission for the 30 to educate them. Okay? So first I grab their attention, then I create an emotional response, and then what? Then I educate them about our products and our services. And then the last E, the most important, is I enroll. I close the deal. I sign them up. I put products in their hands. Maybe it's just retail. Maybe they're just buying a product. They don't want to be in the business. Or they're a preferred customer. Or maybe they want to be a partner. Maybe they want you to show them how to duplicate this. But let's understand that communication is critical. Okay? I always say teaching is selling, learning is buying. It's that idea of how we present ourselves. So number 5, master the art of communication. Such a key piece for us to pay attention to. All right, let's go to number 6. Number 6 is another really important one, but I want to define it. It's learn from role models and mentors. You know, if we can learn from others that have made the journey before us, we can shortcut the learning process. I mean, experience might be the best teacher, but I got to tell you, it's slow, painful, and expensive. So if someone can shortcut that for us, if they can show us the way, if we can follow what they've done, we can be way ahead of the game. So, you know, the old saying, none of us is as smart as all of us. Boy, we want to take advantage of the people that have been there, your leaders, your partners. Learn from what they're doing. If you're a leader, remember, people are watching you and they're trying to learn from you. Because see, here's the difference. A role model is someone I look up to, someone who I watch and observe. I might not even know them, that they might not even know they're a role model to me. So if you're a leader and you're a role model, remember, people are watching what you are doing. So if you aren't retailing, okay, you aren't recruiting, you aren't retaining and repeating, you've stopped, you're managing, that's not the communication we want to have. If you're new in this business, you need to look up to the people who are successful in this business and watch what they're doing. Watch people that are in other industries and they are successful, because that's the key. But a mentor is someone that you actually engage with, that you have conversation with, that they actually will help you, they will talk with you, they will direct you, they will show you, they will coach you. I've had some incredible mentors in my life that have taught me some unbelievable lessons. I'll never forget when I started trying to buy the first tennis club I was involved in. But one of my mentors told me that, I went in and talked to him and said, man, I'm missing out on this opportunity. Went through this whole scenario with him, and he said, I can't get finance. I don't know what I'm going to do. I was in a panic. He looked at me and he said, here, he wrote me a check for $800,000. He goes, here. And he handed me that check. And I said, well, Paul, I wasn't asking you for money. He goes, no, here's the check. Put it in your pocket. Now, go and get finance. He said, Tom, you sound panicked. Who wants to partner with you when you already sound like you're in a panic? You own the club. Now, I had worked for 6 weeks trying to get financed and couldn't. After he put that check in my hand, and I saw the attitude change that I had, I got financed at the very next place I went. That's a mentor. That's a mentor. He taught me a valuable lesson that I've never forgotten. That if I'm going to negotiate, a lesson that he taught me. But that's what mentors do. How many mentors do you have? John Maxwell said that when he first got into the leadership business, he was a pastor, he went out and actually called people up and made appointments and took his vacations and said, I'll pay you for your time. I'll give you $100 an hour. I want to pick your brain. And that's what he would do. He would set up his vacations around there. Who are your mentors? Who do you role model? Because it really is such a great shortcut to the learning process and getting us to success. So number 6 is learn from role models and create mentors in your business. All right, number 7, thrive on pressure. Pressure is only negative if we let it be. Pressure brings out extraordinary performance and achievement. So think about that difference here. The difference between pressure and stress is the perception of that vehicle. Okay? Pressure and stress are the exact same kind of emotion or opportunity. The difference really is what? How we react to it. So if we perceive it as stress, it becomes an enemy, or will rob our focus, it will inhibit our performance. But if I look at it and say, this pressure is an opportunity to make me great. Have you ever heard that saying? That pressure, that a diamond is nothing more than a lump of coal under pressure. So every time we get in a pressure environment, we get the choice to is it going to turn us to stress, or is it going to turn us to greatness? And I'm going to tell you, there's pressure out there. Every time you make a commitment, when you decided to start your own business, all right, you put pressure on yourself. I always say you step into the circle. So when you step into the circle, here's the 3 things that are absolutely going to happen to you repeatedly. The first thing when you step inside that circle is this. You're going to say, you're going to tank. You're going to say, why am I doing this? I can't do this. I stink at this. I'm never going to be successful. We call that the tank. You give up. Normal. When you work through that, that next level, you're going to get to what we call anger stage. You're going to get mad at yourself. I can't do this. I'm stupid. And you'll get angry at yourself. But if you hang in there and you fight through that anger, you're going to go to the 3rd circle, which is choking. This is what pressure one. This is the one where you're like, I always say when I was coaching, gargling peanut butter. That opportunity, it's like, oh, I'm so close, and you just can't. But it's so easy to go backwards, and you can't. You got to fight through it. You got to fight through it every single day. Because what you want to do is get to that 4th part of that circle, which is the challenge response. See, the challenge response doesn't mean victory. The challenge response means you overcame the obstacles of greatness. When you got in that pressure environment, that you came and you're going to have extraordinary performance. Doesn't always mean we're going to get the victory every time. But it means leaving it all out on the table. One of my favorite sayings is, did you give 100%? People say, well, I want to give 110. Let me help you. If you gave 100%, it wouldn't, that 10% ain't going to make a bit of difference. Because we never give our all. We all leave it a little bit short. But we need to learn how we can do that. How can we step inside that circle? When you get in a pressure environment, you're gonna face 2 things. You're gonna face fear, and you're gonna face desire. Those are 2 key emotions. And fear, the characteristics of fear are negative, restrictive, and we focus on the past. We have a tendency to think back to our defeats, why we can't do it. When we focus on desire, we do the opposite. We're positive, we're encouraged, and we focus on the future. Fear is nothing but fantasized experiences appearing real. I love acronyms, FEAR. Fantasized appearances. Fantasized, I lost my throat. Fantasized experiences appearing real. Fear, FEAR. Think about this in sales. I want to share this statistic with you because this is, for me, it's one of the most important statistics in sales. Why people give up, they don't continue to ask when they get a no. When you get a no, it's not forever. It's for the moment. Just because someone said, no, I'm not interested. No, not. It just means they're not interested right now. Think about your decisions you make every single day. It's still a plan and see. But listen to this statistic. 46% of the salespeople will ask for business one time. 46%. 24% will ask for business 2 times. 14% will ask for the business 3 times. 12% will ask for the business 4 times. And only 4%, listen to this, only 4% of the salespeople out there will ask for someone's business 5 times.